speaker is, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Gaylen Edwards.
So can someone help me move this up a little? Is there? Oh, there we go. Because I'm blind as a bat. So this is a bucket list thing for me. I've recently sort of dusting off my writing, and I wanted to do this as a kind of stepping out into this again. So be gentle. I titled this, "The More Things Change, the More They Stay the Same." I know I look like an average Trump voter. White, male, bald, middle-aged. However, that similarities end there. Actually, I'm actually the MAGA crowd's worst nightmare. Educated, gay, and here are the real kickers. I'm also a recovered meth addict and I'm HIV positive. Some would have me in front of a firing squad if they could, I'm sure. I admit, Trump and all that has come with him was a gut punch that took me by surprise. My guard was all the way down after marriage equality happened. So here we are, here I am, fighting once again. It seems that the more things change, the more they stay the same. What do I mean by that? 30 years ago, I had a vague recollection of the first March on Washington for gay rights. It had happened a year or so earlier. I'd started coming out of the closet, so the full weight of the plight of my people had not reached my being. I was a young man then, naive, full of anxiety about my decision for sure, but also full of hope and ambition. A few years later, there was another march, bigger than ever. You see, my brothers were still dying. We were a good 3 years from the life-saving drugs and the full weight of being gay, and all that goes with that was upon me. We were literally fighting for our lives. I stand here as one of the lucky ones. I held out, the medication worked. I got clean and sober, and I pushed and I fought for a better life. So here I am today, well into middle age, bearing witness. That handsome young man I used to see in the mirror is a distant memory, and he has been replaced with a less anxious, more measured, confident fellow traveler. One who has witnessed many wonderful and many horrible things in his lifetime. Most of us could probably say that. To be human is to have stories. I am so grateful for all of my stories, to have been able to see and experience the progress made, and I'm grateful and proud to have done my part along the way. In 2016, I thought I could sit and rest a spell, as my granny would say. But dark forces returned, as they always do. I had forgotten that freedom isn't free. So up I go off the couch one more time. This time I have my husband and our many friends by our side, family members in my corner, and a calmness about all of this that can only come from being forged like steel in the kilns of oppression. This time it isn't just for my dying brothers. This time the fight is for all of us. This time it is for women, dreamers, all people of color, Muslims, and other marginalized people. And yes, I still march for my people, so we don't go back to the dark days of the closet. So today and tomorrow I march. Women especially need to be my focus in this moment. Time is up. I do not want my two beautiful nieces to have to live in a world where it is okay to say things like, grab them by the pussy, especially for those that claim to lead us. I want a world for them where you get equal pay for equal work. There is no glass ceiling, and little girls are taught that it's cool to be a scientist, a mathematician, and president of the United States. My resolve today is to be a positive voice of dissent, finding ways to work with my adversaries and give my corner of the world hope. In order to do this, I look for the humanity, the light, everywhere I go. Anywhere the light shines brightest in the dark, so it should be easy to spot these days. I see that light in all of you. I see it in my friends, my family, the panhandler at the intersection, and I see it in that CEO at that company I want to do business with. The message of hope has reverberated through most of my life, and in 2008 we elected my hero on the promise of hope and change, and as far as I'm concerned, we got it. It was a wonderful 8 years, but the work isn't finished. So let's finish the work and heed the words of Harvey Milk shortly before he was murdered in 1978. He gave a speech and his message was simple: you gotta give them hope. Thank you.